Morning, sunshine. I stare at Janice as she emerges from the hallway. My night was sleepless, and a good portion of my morning has been spent waiting on the sofa for her to wake up. I haven't even been able to concentrate on the television. My mind has been too focused on what she said last night about Lucian's troubled past, wondering what she meant. She holds the sides of her head, her hair a bushy mess. Make the room stop spinning. That's what you get for drinking a rainbow. I have no sympathy for her. She's old enough to know better than to drink that much when she has to work the next day. I was having fun, she huffs before throwing herself down on the sofa beside me. Now, go get me some water. Yes, Your Majesty. I stand and take an exaggerated bow before heading to the kitchen to fetch her a glass of water. When I return and hand it to her, she continues holding her head with one hand as she grabs the glass and chugs it down. That's probably going to come back up, she warns. I pull the hair tie out of my hair and hand it to her. I'm not interested in watching her puke some more. She scowls, but takes the hair tie from me, quickly pulling her hair up into a bun and wincing every few seconds as she does. I can only imagine how her head is pounding. This is probably only going to make my headache worse, she whines. Well, I hope it was worth it. It was. A big grin curls her lips, though it swiftly transforms into a grimace when the pain hits her again. So about last night. I sit down and pull my knees up to my chest, wrapping my arms around them. You said that your sir had some information on Lucian? I did. She arches an eyebrow at me. You did. Don't tell me she doesn't remember. Maybe I should have shaken her harder last night. Even if she would have slurred the information to me, at least I would have had it. Janice presses her hand to her temple, closing her eyes. To be honest, I don't remember much from last night after my scene with Sir. We finished things up in the dungeon, and then he took me upstairs to hang out with his friends. People were buying me drinks left and right. I haven't had access to that much free alcohol in a long time, so I took advantage of it. I sigh. I suppose I can't blame you. I probably wouldn't have been able to control myself either. My mind goes back to being in Lucian's limo and wishing he would have offered me a drink. I'm amazed that the only thing I had to drink all night was the wine that Janice and I shared before we went to Fleshfest. My memory after that is a blur. Janice turns to me and pouts. I'm sorry I don't remember what Sir said about blue eyes. My shoulders slump in defeat. It's all right. Maybe I'll just ask him about it later. So you're going to see him again? I can't help but smirk at how little she remembers. We discussed this last night. Yes, I'm going to see him again. He's still my client, remember? Oh, yeah. She turns back around to face the television. Did you guys have fun after you left? Sort of. Not really. Unpleasant emotions flood me as I think of the amazing time I had with Lucian and how he ruined it with his cruel words. He seduced me again, and then he basically just told me that his only interest in me is sexual. Same shit, different setting. To be honest, Amy, he looks like bad news. Her voice is all seriousness. I mean, yeah, he's hot, but that's part of the problem. I remember that girl being on his lap. It turns out that she was his teacher in the lifestyle. She screws her face as if she's confused. I'm not sure if she was his dom at one point, but they did have a very close relationship. I got the impression that they still do. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, judging from the way that he's treated you and seeing him at Flesh, I just don't think he's the right guy for you. I don't either. I shake my head, feeling my heart grow heavy. It wasn't the information I had hoped to hear, but it was a new tidbit about Lucian no less.